Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you something really interesting. Now it's how to improvise to your songs. Improvise meaning you're making it your own, you're coloring it, you're deviating from how the song actually sounds like, and you're adding your own touches to make it sound different, to make it sound beautiful, more beautiful. Anyway, this is how you're going to go about it, and I'm going to use a song called All of Me by John Legend to show you as an example. So it sounds simply like this. So that's the intro, and it's good that you know how to play the intro and you're playing it like that all of the time, and after a while it becomes boring to the person you're playing it to, and boring to you as well, and you're not learning. So this is my tip of how you can improvise. First of all, we're playing on the key of C, and key of C, and that's a 6. Okay, I'm playing a 6 there and a 4 there and a 1 and a 5. So that's the chord progression. 6, 4, 1, 5. And on the right hand, all I'm doing is adding the chords to the 6. And this is the 6th chord with the C missing. And then the 4. That's the 4 chord with the that middle missing, and it's an inversion. So that's a 4 chord, you remove that, and that's the first inversion. So that's inverted with that key missing. And then back to 1, and that's also the 1 chord with that missing, and it's an inversion. So that's a C root, first inversion, second inversion. That's a second inversion with that missing. And then, and that's a G chord with that missing. And that's how I'm playing it simply. So now if you'd like to improvise to that, previously I was using one finger to play the chord progression. So now you can use So what have I done there? The right still remains the same thing. I've used that chord there, which is a 6, and I've played that note, but I've added that note to it for the 6, and that note is part of the 6th chord, which is that the root 6, and I've just left that out. So, and I've played it here. And the same thing when you would go to 4. So that's an F inverted. So that's an F root. I've taken that out and played it here. So that makes it an F. I've just left this C key out and I've played it here. That's for the 4. And going to the 1. So pretty much similar. I've left that note out, and I've played the G here. Those things still remain the same here, but I've just played the G here. And then back to the 5, which is so pretty much the same thing. That's the G and the D and the G and the D. So it sounds like this. So you can start hearing that this is sounding different already. So you're adding stuff to it, you're making it your own, and this is what improvisation is all about. Now let's move on to what I want to show you next. So the next thing we can do to improvise and make it sound different is to start adding notes to it. So on the right hand, we added, previously we added these notes on the left hand. So on the right hand, we're going to start playing the full triad chords. So this is a 6. Okay, and what I've done is rather than playing it this way, I've added that C note to it. And then when we go to 4, the C is still there. Rather than playing it like this, I've added the C there. And then the 1, and then the C is there, right? And then for the 5 is the full triad, which is the G, B, and D. And this is how it sounds. Can you hear the difference? It's sounding much fuller, and it's a mile away from how we started with using just one finger here. Now we're starting to add more color to it, and all we're doing is we're still maintaining the same chords. And remember, we're on the key of C, and that's the 6, and that's the 4, and that's the 1, and that's the 5, and that's the chord progression that we've been following: 6, 4, 1, 5. And we're just playing the chords, the 6 on the left, on the right hand, like that, like that. That sounds beautiful. So the next thing we can do is, we're playing the triads now, like that. But listen to what I'm going to do. I'll play it again. And what have I done there? So it's the same notes that I'm playing, but I'm tapping this second notes on the left hand. So like that. Okay. And I've gone to the 4, and then the 1, and then the 5, which is the G. And that's sounding different. It's not sounding monotonous. It's sounding much, colorful. You're making it not boring. Imagine you're going to, you're playing for your friends, or you're playing for your family at a party, wherever it is, and you're playing, you played it the first time, and then you want to play it the second time, and you're playing it the same way. You want to be unpredictable. You want to play in a way that people will not get bored listening to you, and you want to play the way you would not get bored listening to yourself, and it helps you to try these different things, and it helps you improve. And you're learning, what you're learning is you're learning the chord structures, you're learning the what's it called, the inversions, and you're just experimenting. Let's move on. I'll do that again. So the next thing we can do is, while we're still maintaining those chords, we can start adding some arpeggios to it. So we can do something like this. And all I'm doing is, on the left hand, I'm playing octaves. So that's A to A, with that in the middle, and it's still part of the A chord. And then I'm moving to the, so that's the 6, and then a 4, same, middle. That's F to F, and that in the middle, and then octave to octave with the G in the middle. So, and I'm playing it in an arpeggio fashion. So I'm doing, so you can keep trying that. And if you see that there isn't any space for you to play that chord, you can move that A up to the top there, so you can play it this way. It's all about inversions, and it gives you another flavor. It sounds differently. And then let me show you one last one. So we're doing the arpeggios now, and another thing you can add to it to make it sound great is, so you can play it this way. What have I done there? So on the 6th, which is the A, I'm playing the arpeggios, and I'm adding a 9 and a 10. So how is it a 9 and a 10? So on a C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a 9 and a 10 on any scale. So on that A, and if I double it like that, that's the 8th note, and 9 and 10. Okay? And if I go to the 4, 8th, 8, 9 and 10. And then C, 8, 9 and 10. And then on G, 9 and 10. So I keep adding to the 9 and 10 to it, and it makes it sound so beautiful. I'll play it again. Can you hear that? So when you hear people keep saying improvise, it's something you can do as well. It's nothing scary. It's all about knowing what your arpeggios are, what your inversions, your chords, your scales. And once you know that, and you keep experimenting, you're not afraid to try different things within those, within the scale, within the chord structure, you'll start sounding much, much better. So let me show you another pretty cool thing you can use to improvise. So now you've added all the chords and all the inversions and arpeggios. Now listen to this. And what did I just do there? All I'm doing is just adding these walk-ups to it. So I'm walking up to this key, like that. Okay. And then now I'm going to 4, which is that key, and I walk up to it. So I can play it singly, or I can play like that or that. Still the same chord. And then for the 1, like that, which is still the destination of 1. And then I walk down to that key, which is the 5. And all I'm doing is just improvising. I'm just, using whatever comes to my mind within the scale, within the chords, to make it sound nice. Again. Sounds nice. And I'm still within the 6, 4, 1, 5 chord progression. And I'm going to show you one last one that you can use. So another thing you can do is, say you've added all these chords and inversion to it, and it's sounding full, and you do that. You can go back to do and all I've done is I've played it fully, and everything's melodious, and you can hear the chords, you can hear it sounding really, really nice, and I've just calmed it down and gone back to the basics. That's another technique you can use. You calmed the song down, and it's just that unpredictability that makes you sound nice. Again. And it has to do with you playing it calmly, playing it softly as well. So you're playing all the chords and all the arpeggios a little bit loudly, and you calm it down. You play it softly. That's a very, very good effect, and that's part of improvisation. You're making it your own. No rules. Break the rules, but break it right. Let me show you this last one, and this is one of my favorite ways to improvise. So say, for example, you're playing the song, everything is there. Did you see what I did? So I was playing it 1 octave high, and I went lower. One more thing I did was I did that, and that's adding that ninth to it. Remember we talked about ninth earlier? I added that ninth before I went back to the 1 when I on the 1 chord, and then going to 5, I did a bit of brushing there, or so, and then that ninth as well before going back to the G. So it's all about practice. So you just go and you brush that, or you can brush it this way and adding that note to it. You don't have to. Or they call the grace notes as well. So this is a very good way for you to make your song beautiful and not sound monotonous, and improvise around whatever it is you're playing. One octave lower. See that? It gives it a great effect when you start on a higher octave and then you move on to a lower octave on the second time going. So just keep practicing all these different ways to improvise, and it will come spontaneous to you, and you trust me, you'll sound much different. You know, when people hear you, when your friends hear you play, it will sound different all the time. And you know, you're just trying to avoid that boring, you know, you've learned a song and you're just playing it the same way all the time. Don't do that. Learn that song, learn all these tricks to improvise, and just add it to whatever song. It applies to any song at all. We just used all of me in this instance. By the way, if you want me to do a tutorial on the actual body of the song, all what we've been learning since is the intro, and if you want me to break the whole song down, just let me know in the comment section and I'll break the whole song down, and you can apply all these that we're learning, the arpeggios, the inversions, the brushing, everything we've learned so far. You can apply it to any song or to the body of this All of Me song as well. And don't forget that everything I've shown you here, I learned to play by ear. You know, you can do it too. I've heard so many people say you can only play by ear if you're born with it. That's nonsense. I wasn't born with it. I learned it. I've taught many of my students, and they've just started from literally not knowing how to play the keyboard or the piano, and going to listen to their favorite songs and being able to play it on the piano. I'm using all these things, and it's just some simple steps that you need to know, and you'll be able to apply it when you hear any of your favorite songs. So if you want to know more about that, just click the link in the description. It'll tell you about how you can go about it and see if it's the right fit for you. Anyway, I hope you guys loved that and found it useful. If you do, please subscribe, like, and share. I'll really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.